You're going to tell me you've never done this before?
No, sir.
So you just woke up this morning and said, I'm going to get involved in an internet conversation with a 14-year-old boy. I'm going to go to his house, strip naked, and walk in with a 12-pack of beer. This was just something you thunk up today.
No, sir. I'm going to talk to him about it online.
John Kennelly is a guy who, in an online chat with someone he thought was a young teenage boy, said that he was a teacher at a prestigious high school in Virginia. The chat is graphic. At one point, the decoy said something about, you know, what would be really hot, strip down your underwear in the garage and walk in. Kennelly says in the chat, I don't wear underwear. Decoy says something to the effect of, well, you know, come in how you are. And we really didn't think he was going to do it. This is our second investigation, and while we'd seen some surprising things, you know, who's going to walk into a stranger's house naked? Well,
Could you explain yourself?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and cover up.
Certainly. I'm sorry.
What's going on here?
Your son IM'd me, and he told me to come on over.
He IM'd you.
Yes, sir.
You can sit down. How did he know to IM you?
I don't know, sir, honest.
So he just chose you out of the blue and said, come on over, get naked, and walk into the kitchen.
Well, I sat there talking to him for a little bit, yes.
And what'd you guys talk about?
We were just talking about anything, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 29, sir.
29. And what do you do for a living?
I drive a school bus.
You drive a school bus.
Yes, sir.
And you thought it was appropriate to walk into the home of a 14-year-old boy who you thought was alone, buck naked. What was your plan?
I don't know, sir.
What's your full name?
John Kennelly.
And you're a school bus driver or a teacher?
Teacher.
You're a teacher. I'm going to need to see some ID.
I left that at home, so I'm sorry.
I'd like to see some ID. Turned out later that he was neither a teacher nor a bus driver. In fact, he was unemployed and had been for some time. What kind of conduct is this for a high school teacher?
None, sir. I've never done this before.
You're going to tell me you've never done this before?
No, sir.
So you just woke up this morning and said, I'm going to get involved in an internet conversation with a 14-year-old boy. I'm going to go to his house, strip naked, and walk in with a 12-pack of beer. This was just something you thunk up today.
No, sir. I'm going to talk to him about it online.
Do you see how this looks, John?
Yes, sir.
Let me just see the driver's license.
I'm sorry, sir.
Well, sorry, doesn't matter. What would have happened? What would have happened, John, if I wasn't here?
I probably would have chickened out, sir.
Chickened out. Do you see why that is hard for me to believe?
I do, sir. That is the truth.
You say to him, are you straight, bi, or gay? He says gay. I just don't tell anyone. You say, sweet, I won't, I promise. You say, you are so effing hot, bro. I want to be your boyfriend if you will have me. I'm serious.
I was just chatting. I was just...
Chatting? You're sitting in this kitchen naked, John. That's a step beyond chatting, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it would be.
I don't want to get you in trouble, bro. I also don't want to get me in trouble either. You knew this was wrong when you walked in.
Yes, sir.
I think I can learn real fast to love you. 14 years old. Do you know that it's illegal to have a conversation on the internet with the intent to have sex with a minor?
Yes, sir, I did.
So you came here knowingly violating the law.
Kennelly was significant because not only did he admit what he was doing was wrong, he also admits that he knew it was illegal, and he showed up anyway.
What do you think should happen to you?
I don't know, sir.
Well, there's something you gotta know. I am not the father of the boy. But I am Chris Hansen of Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on computer predators. Anything else you'd like to say to us? We'd like to hear it. If not, you're free to leave.
Thank you.
You can take the towel to the garage and get dressed.
Please take the camera off me.
He sees the cameras coming. He's trying to keep the towel up around him. He's trying to grab his clothes and head out the door, and he gets his underwear on and just beelines to get out of there. If he had just left it at that, you know, Kennelly would have been a memorable character, but what he did the next day just put him over the top. Wait a minute, so let me get this straight. So they're talking about a meeting?
Nobody has ever gone through what that man went through when he got to this house. But now this is just amazing.
This guy leaves our house, shirtless, holding most of his clothes. And less than 24 hours later, there he is in a chat room trying to make a date with another young teenage boy. We couldn't believe it, but it was the same screen name, same everything. So the decoy made a date, and they agreed to meet at a nearby fast food restaurant. We move into position, he walks out of the restaurant, and we're there waiting for him. I remember exactly what I said. I have been in television for 24 years.
I just came to get something to eat.
And I have very seldom been at a loss for words.
Sir, I just came to get
But
something to eat.
I don't even know what to ask you first.
I just came to get something to eat.
John, well, we've been through this before. What are you doing? I've got the chat log again. You're chatting up another 13-year-old kid, and you're gonna meet him here at McDonald's. You identify yourself, you call yourself Shane this time. You ask him a series of personal sexual questions. Is that appropriate talk to be having with someone you think is a 13-year-old boy?
No.
Last night, you walked into a home naked, hoping to meet a 13-year-old. You said you were sorry. It was the first time you'd ever done it. You admitted it was wrong.
Yes, I did.
You left.
Yes, I did, sir.
And within 24 hours, you're back on the internet chatting up another 13-year-old kid. What is going on? What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't have anything to say for myself.
Well, you should say something, don't you think? I mean, what are we to think you're going to do next? Last night, you walk into a house in suburban Washington, naked, with a 12-pack of beer, hoping to meet a 13-year-old boy. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Today, you're on the internet again. You have an inappropriate conversation with a boy you think is 13, and you set up a meeting here at this fast food restaurant. What was your intention?
I don't know.
Don't you think you need some help?
I'm seeing a psychiatrist.
Do you see why I was skeptical last night when you said...
Can you get those?
No, I can't, John. I can't do that. That's their job, is to record video and audio. Now, you put yourself in this position, so don't get tough with that. Do you see why I was skeptical last night when you said it was the very first time you'd ever done something like that?
It was, though.
Oh, how can I believe that? And how do we know that you're not going to go out tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day and do this again?
I promise you I won't.
You see something so extreme, a guy show up naked and then come back the next day, you realize and you get a better understanding of how strong these addictions, these compulsions can be. And they develop online. First, perhaps porn sites, chat rooms, but ultimately that isn't enough to satisfy some of these guys. And that's when you see them, I think, take these extreme measures and risk so much to actually have a face-to-face meeting. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to call my psychiatrist.
How long have you been seeing a psychiatrist?
A little over a year.
A little over a year. And why were you seeing him?
Because I had a family breakdown.
Meaning what exactly?
I had a death in my family. And I never handled it well.
And is that what you attribute this sort of behavior to?
I'm guessing, yeah.
That sounds like a cop.
But it's not though.
What happens if you really did meet a 13-year-old boy? What happens?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's illegal to have a talk on the internet with a minor with intent to have sex with that minor. You've done it twice in 2 days that we know of. That's a federal offense. You can go to prison for it. Do you know that?
Yes.
Then why do you do it?
That I need help, and that's what I'm seeing a psychiatrist for.
And you're going to find help here at McDonald's?
No.
You're going to find help from a 13-year-old boy?
No.
Experts in the field, after hearing all this, are going to likely suggest that last night wasn't your first time and today isn't your second time, that you've been doing this for a very long time, John.
No, I haven't.
Do you understand why that's hard for me to believe? I mean, is there any reason for us to think that you won't just go ahead and do this again tomorrow?
I got 2 appointments with my psychiatrist tomorrow.
What about today? You don't seem that busy today.
That's why I'm going to go home and call him.
Do you consider yourself a predator?
I don't know.
You don't know. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
And he walks off, shoes untied, gets into his pickup truck, and drives off. And I'm thinking, I just can't believe what I've just seen. When we started these investigations, you know, the goal was to understand what goes on in these guys' minds that makes them think it's okay to show up at a house where a young teen is alone and try to have a sexual relationship. After you talk to a guy like Kennelly, you have a better understanding of the addictive nature of the internet and of the compulsion some of these guys develop. But it also makes you wonder how you deal with a guy like that. And so while it answers some questions, it often raises more.